Well, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome and welcome back.
So you guys know why we're here and what we do. We're basically saying, hey, we're Black attorneys and we're here. And, there's only 5% of us. So we're trying to increase that number. We're excited to have you guys here. I am Judge Vivian, and my co-host is, of course, retired Honorable Judge Dawn Fields. She is back. I know you guys were a little disappointed last week, but hey, she's back. So calm down. We are excited, as I always am. Like, I don't think I'm not excited for any topic.
I don't think so.
I'm just that person that is always thinking about, oh, that's interesting. It's not even about the news part of it for me. It really is about like possible legal issues. The nerd in me comes out quite a bit here.
But and you know what? Listening fans, you're getting the real Vivian. She's always excited about life. I mean, always, at everything, always. The girl wakes up excited. So some people have a television personality or a Facebook personality or twat or Twitter personality. No, you're getting the real Judge Vivian. Okay, yes, I need to use my new word, the twat personality. Whatever that is.
So we are excited to have you, and thanks, Judge. We are excited to have you guys with us tonight. We have, as per usual, a pretty interesting topic, but this one is actually about a House bill. So it's House Bill 1834. That's the current name of it. I know eventually it's going to get, a kind of fun name, because that's what we do in order to remember things. We give it a fun name. I'm not sure what this one's going to be, but I can say it's going to be interesting. So
we're thinking about calling it, I saw it, named after someone. I'll have to research it. The bill, I saw it, but I don't remember what it was now.
I believe it's going to be named after the officer that part of this bill is centered around.
Okay.
And it's actually, like I said, a pretty interesting bill. I'm going to give the preface this way. So I'm going to lead up to it. I'm not going to give y'all everything right now. So according to the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, about 28 people in the United States die of drunk driving crashes every single day. So that approximates about one person per every 52 minutes. Personally, I didn't know that stat, and I've dealt with DUIs for quite some time as being a criminal defense attorney. But that's a pretty high number.
That's a high number.
That's higher than I think I would have anticipated. I know that there's a lot of things that happen with drunk driving and all the drunk driving issues that erupt, but to me, that was even a wow moment when I read that. Well, because of this, as per usual, they have been trying to combat, or legislator has been trying to combat the DUI situation, as I should say it, for quite some time. And unfortunately, still been falling short, if that's the case, based off of those stats. So they decided, let's go another approach. So for those that have never dealt with a DUI, don't understand what it is, I'm going to give our brief legalese. Here we go. Yeah. A DUI is considered driving while under the influence. So it is not driving while drunk. I know a lot of people think, oh, you only have to be drinking. Not exactly. You can also be under the influence of a prescription, or you could be under the influence of some other narcotic, possibly like, I don't know. Now, this one's not one you see as often, but it is true, marijuana, because you can be under the influence of any substance that would render you unable to perform your regular duties while driving. So basically, if it hinders you from being able to drive in a sensible manner or in a reasonable manner, that's what we mean when we say that you're driving under the influence. That being said, that statute has been around for quite some time. And in that statute, there have been several things, such as a fine if you end up getting into a DUI, jail time, incarcerations on the table. Your driver's license in the state of Florida can get suspended for approximate time. What else is there?
Your insurance goes up astronomically, depending on the level of the breath sample, and how many people are injured or not injured, you could have an ignition interlock on your car. So you have to provide a breath sample for an indeterminate amount of time, 6 months, 3 months, 9 months. I think it's 6 months standard in Florida. And then you have to provide a breath sample every time, not every time, intermittently while you're driving the car. Might add now, like I said, just a little bit of law. DUI is one of those crimes that really doesn't take an intent. An intent tend to drive on the influence of an alcoholic beverage or substance to the point that my normal faculties were impaired. I intend to drink, I intend to drive, but I didn't intend to create a DUI. And so keep that in mind when we're talking about the passage of this bill. Once again, it will have a name, and the impact of it is, therefore the grace of God, therefore you and I, anybody. This is the kind of crime that anybody can be charged with. Anybody. You're leaving a birthday party, a Christmas celebration, an office party. You had one or too many drinks to drink, and you're not drunk, like Judge Vivian said, but the fact that your normal faculties are impaired, the ability to see and hear and speak. We're not talking about falling over drunk. And so we want you to realize kind of the impact of what we're saying. And a little aside, this is where we always emphasize, pay attention to your elected officials, pay attention to the judges you elect, pay attention to the state attorneys that you elect, pay attention to the district attorney, the public defender you elect. These are the people that combine to make your judicial system. And so this bill touches all of our lives. I'm sorry, Judge Vivian. And it's not in Florida right now. It's not in Florida.
Correct. So that's part of why we're talking about it, guys, because even though it's not quite in Florida, it's Florida. I'm gonna let it be at that. I need my shade so that I can shade my own state.
Florida,
baby, it is a hot mess sometimes. But yes, so this particular statute that is coming to the floor, not in the state of Florida currently, but will probably be in the state of Florida very soon, is in an effort to combat these DUIs, these issues. Oh, I also failed to mention that there are some classes that you will be required to take by law as well. Yes. Now, these are statutorily based. For those who don't understand what that means, it means that the legislator wrote it down word for word what they wanted you to do in the statute, and it actually doesn't have a lot of room for judges, attorneys, or the state attorney's office to do as much because it is a written statute with specific rules. Well, they're adding on another one. That's pretty much what we're talking about tonight. They're adding on another one. Now, mind you, DUI in most states, because I decided to have a little bit of fun to look it up, is a pretty hefty issue and a pretty hefty statute. In almost every single state, there is some form of incarceration. The fines are extremely high. Classes, of course, are ordered. And there is something near licensing issues. Now, I can't explain it all. I don't know all 50 states. I'm not going to be able to tell you that. However, they're not going to add on something else. And that is more money. You will now be required to pay for, so it's not as confusing as it sounds.
It's not that, yeah.
You're going to be paying, quote unquote, child support if you get into and convicted of a DUI. How? We got you. We got you covered.
We got you.
You're going to basically be paying, say for instance, and I'm going to give a quick overview, but say for instance, you unfortunately get convicted of a DUI and the parent of the child passed away during said incident. You are required to pay the guardian of that child, that let's say the aunt of the child ends up adopting the child. Now you will have to pay child support on that child until they reach a certain age in order to help the aunt support that child now that child has lost their parent due to your incredulous behavior. Oh, I used the $75.
I like that. The law school word.
So basically, as we always do, we want to hear from you guys. Hi. We're waving at people. Hi, guys. So happy to have
Hi,
you on,
hello.
Attorney Smith. So we are so excited to kind of just get you guys feedback on this. How do you feel about this? Apparently, this has already passed the Senate, which means that it is very close to actually passing. It is likely to be picked up by more than one state very soon. And as I stated, it's going to be one additional thing that gets added onto driving under the influence charge. So
We're,
yeah,
we're, we're not we're not making a statement, a moral or ethical statement. One of the purposes of this show is to get you involved in thinking about law and law related issues. Like I said before, there for the grace of God go any of us with the DUI. You, according to your body weight, my body weight, Judge Vivian is a buck and a nickel, and I'm like 140 pounds. At 140 pounds, three little, well, maybe two little wine coolers. I don't drink. Probably to the point that I should not be driving home. Let me say three wine coolers over 3 hours, 2 hours. Probably shouldn't be driving home. So I'm tooling and driving home from field sobriety exercise. And here and judge distance is a little impaired. So now I'm convicted of a DUI. So the first point that we want to make is you need to be active in these kind of things because this is the kind of thing. You're not everybody's going to murder or rape or rob or burglary or child molest and stuff like that. But these are the things that affect your lives every day. Once again, emphasize, pay attention. Make these types of decisions on you. Okay, now, so we have all this stuff. Now I have to pay restitution. This kid is 3 years old. So for the next 15, or I think 15 or and graduate high school, 18 and graduate high school, I'm responsible for I would have lived in had mom or dad been there. So I'm hitting the rich kid, I'm hitting the poor kid. It just kind of determines what's going to be. Now, are these deterrents to crimes? No. And we all learned in law school there are certain things about punishment. It's either punishment or just because you did something bad. Rehabilitation, I want to help you to get better. School and alcohol courses, retribution, I'm going to pay you back. And I think the other one is just, I think just incarceration. I don't know. But there's three or four theories of punishment. I don't know what theory is working under. Is it retribution? Is it restitution?
I'm thinking it's a mix of restitution and retribution
Okay.
because it's literally you paying money, and restitution is to attempt to make you. It's an attempt because that's literally what the statute says: an attempt to make you whole. So they know they
Attempt.
can't make you whole because they can't return you to your former state, like a broken vase. You can put it back together, but it will no longer be within its former state. So they attempt to put you back in their former state with the restitution. However, I also think it's retribution because now you're kind of you're giving something to that child whose parent was lost as a result of your negligent actions.
I
Now,
wonder what if this is having a chilling effect on the jury. Jury's not supposed to know what the ultimate punishment is, but something like a DUI, kind of everybody knows. Murder, rape, and robbery, you don't know. I wonder what the jury will think if they know that I have to also, if convicted, if found guilty and convicted, pay child support for the next 15, 16
would the jury?
effect will it
Well,
have on the jury?
I'm
Hmm.
curious too. I don't know, but they shouldn't know. They wouldn't know that though, right? Because we don't discuss the parameters because that's not something the jury has authority over. That's something the judge
No,
decides.
they don't. I mean, nobody knows the punishment of murder and rape and robbery, but I'm thinking that average DUI, everybody knows somebody who has a DUI. And I would think in somewhere in some circles, somebody would say something, but don't do that because you know have this and your driver's license. You have to be a lawyer. You have to pay child support. Somewhere, somehow, I think the jury may have more awareness of the sentence is this than they will with other crimes. I don't know. They should not consider it. You're right that the judge decides that they shouldn't consider that, but I wonder what chilling effect it'll have on the jury verdict.
Probably a lot. I wonder if they are even going to make it a part of the jury. Say, for instance, the jury gets to determine how much gets awarded to the kids. You think?
Ah, okay.
Because we're and when we get down to the essentially this part will be possibly civil. Is this going to be added to the civil version of the DUI? Because DUI, whether most people remember or not, can also be charged, can also be punished civilly. You can get a civil punishment and a criminal punishment for it. So will this be addition to the civil parts? Now, of course, incarceration or just the defendant's inability to pay is going to factor in. Let's face it, the majority of the time that these cases occur, most defendants do not have the money to even pay back their court costs and fines.
And I always think it's interesting, and I know Judge Vivian has experienced this, when the late people, our friends and cousins and relatives say, why don't they just plead guilty? Because there's a lot of parameters. The bill, as it is written, kind of says, if I kill a person due to intoxication or aggravated vehicular homicide, well, did I kill them due to that? Do they contribute to that? Did they just walk out in front of me? I was drunk. I was intoxicated. I was impaired. But for their just walking out on the street drunk, maybe it wouldn't happen. And so a lot of times our friends and say, why don't they just plead guilty? It's right there on camera. They know they did it. Not necessarily. And the other thing that so far the bill says convicted of. If you have not a jury trial and you want to plead guilty and tell the judge withhold adjudication, that means I'm not technically convicted. I don't fall out of this statute. And so it's just not that easy of just plead guilty and be done. If so, Judge Vivian would not have a job the last 5 or 6 years. So it's not that easy. Sorry.
So yeah, so it's got a lot of parameters to it. It's an interesting thing, and I don't know how I feel about it. Why are things happening like that? Lately, I've been saying it a lot more than usual. Normally, I can follow one side, but being that I also get a chance to see, as you just said, those who are the most affected by it, though most people aren't the happiest. But what about things like vehicular homicide? Vehicular homicide is around, and there's different parameters of it in the state of Florida, at least. There can be a negligent version of it, an accidental version of it, an intentional version of it. And so now,
did I cause the death? Maybe you're already heart attack, diabetes. Did I really cause the death? I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot with this statute. It's interesting how they're going to put it. According to the article itself, they've decided to also list the fallen police officer in which the bill kind of came about. His name is Nicholas Gallagher's children, because he was killed recently in a crash from a DUI defendant. So I'm pretty sure the name is probably going to end up may even be called the Gallagher bill.
Yes.
But it's interesting and an interesting thought. Don't forget, jurors, to leave us a comment. Talk to us. Tell us what you think. Are you excited about this? Do you think this is a good option to help combat the high statistic of DUIs? Do you think it's a bad option?
We no right or wrong. We just want to get you thinking about law. If you don't, want to be a lawyer or law school, but at least get you thinking about law and exercise your right to vote and participate in the system. Because there's a lot of things going on. And we talked about all the time, law is probably affect every little thing you do, how you eat, what you wear, where do you go to school, how you live, how you dress, how you support your children, discipline your children. Law is all involved in everything. And so one of the things that we try to do is just kind of just poke you a little bit and to increase your interest in law and law related fields.
Exactly.
That was interesting.
So that was pretty interesting. And I was I was like, wow, I wonder how this is going to affect the statute. A lot of people didn't know. I found that when I was doing those cases, a lot of my clients didn't even know that the original statute had as many things as it already had in it. So
Oh,
now
okay.
there's an additional thing that's going to be interesting. Now, there's another interesting topic tonight. And you guys know we go back and forth on, what we're going to do. It's so many current events out there, so many things that we could talk about. And there's been two that have been kind of interesting to me. So I'm going to start with one. And we're running towards our time, so we don't make the second one. It is what it is. Y'all just have to catch us next time. Mike Tyson is going viral right now because he allegedly punched someone on. No, I'm not. It's not. It is allegedly. I'm an attorney, but it's on a video, allegedly.
I love the defense attorneys, allegedly. I'm a former prosecutor. He did it. Allegedly.
Allegedly punched a guy several times while on a plane. Funny, we're talking about DUIs. This guy was apparently not in the best of sobriety. Decided to start an issue with Mike Tyson. He was apparently mocking him, making fun of him, calling him names. If I'm not mistaken, the staff said he was calling him names, and eventually ended by throwing his water bottle at him. And he's behind him. Mike Tyson was in front of him, and he ultimately threw his water bottle at him. Well, I think the water bottle throwing was the last straw for the great weight Mike Tyson. And he threw a couple, boom, 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 boom. Now, I'm going to say the defense attorney in me is about to come out real strong. Okay. So,
gosh. Mike.
As I replayed the video a few times, I noticed it was like he pulled back and didn't hit him as hard as he could. Ooh. Almost as if he was just really providing a warning, like, don't throw nothing at me.
Now,
he did not hit
fans, him. Okay, you don't get a tap, tap, tap in the head is a tap, tap, tap in the head. Small, light, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the difference, aggravated battery, a felony or not. But it's still a crime committed. Boom, a crime committed. Boom, a crime committed. Go ahead, Judge Vivian. I know.
Here's the interesting part that I mentioned to my mom, who was like, she was like, what? When she saw it, she was like, Mike Tyson fighting? And I was like, yeah. I said, but here's the catch. Here's the interesting catch. In the state of Florida, Mike Tyson can be charged with a higher crime because his hands are considered weapons. Remember? Because he's a boxer. So there's apparently in the state, well, not apparently, I'm knowing this, in the state of Florida, this is not legal advice. Y'all read about it. So in the state of Florida, people with considered special skills with their hands, such as a person who knows jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, martial arts, a boxer, MMA, professional fighters of sorts, because of their ability to do things that us regular folk, my arms are weak, okay, regular folks can't do, there can be enhancements in the statute. Their hands can be considered weapons. I thought about this when he hit him, and I was thinking to myself, man, I know he hit him first, but
no,
his hands can be registered as weapons. I probably would have been like, ooh.
But my understanding of the article that didn't attack, he was just annoying, intoxicated, annoying, asking, talking, and Mike, I guess he thought he could control this mouth on the plane. Be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. And when he had enough, he does what Mike Tyson does, resort to violence. Did I say that?
Yes, the news reported that he actually did throw something at him. Staff says that they believe that it was a water bottle. So he did throw something at him before. According to the flight attendants, he wasn't turning around to bother him. He wasn't talking back to him. He was actually ignoring him until a projectile came into his face. So that's kind of, to me, like, he tried. This man escalated. Could it have been, is it, the severe escalation of a professional boxer? Maybe not. But he did escalate the situation. And who knows what could have and would have come next? Would it have just been a battle? How long would it have gone on?
Well, I want the listening public to understand, to me right now, this is no justification. I threw a bottle. It's over. I'm hurt. I'm offended. I'm ticked. But I don't bring a gun to a knife fight. He threw a bottle. It's over. The threat is over. But my anger is up. And then I'm going to punch. I'm wrong. Can both of these charge? Yes. Because it's a break in the action. We're done. You threw the bottle and I hit you. 2 batteries, 2 crimes committed. Now, what's the prosecutor going to do? What's the defense going to do? The defense attorney will say, hey, mutual combat. They're both wrong. Let it go. Leave it alone. Done. The prosecutor will say, Mike knew better. The guy was intoxicated. He was annoying. He was drunk. Slap him in the hand. He knew better. I don't know.
And see, that's why testimony and stuff is important, guys. So the witnesses did say he remained calm for quite some time. This guy wasn't just heckling him for like 10 minutes. He'd been badgering him almost the entire flight. And then he did throw some projectile at him. The staff believes that it was a water bottle. We weren't there. We didn't see the part that he did before. We only have video because, of course, the cameras came out and everybody was like, oh, Mike Tyson. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, like, and like I said, it was like he was pulling back. Like, I don't want to really hurt him. I just want him to stop, And so currently there, nothing has come of it. We will see and we will monitor, of course, the situation as it comes. But
Judge Vivian, to follow up on the lattice punch that we experienced and talked about 2 weeks ago, I think the Academy
has open hand slap.
I'm sorry, slap. I think the Academy has decided that he is banned for 10 years.
Yes. So they banned Will Smith from the Academy for 10 years for the open hand slap. And right now they have not determined if they're going to take his Oscar from him. But apparently, too, Netflix has also pulled a lot of their deals with him and have taken down their videos that are already with him on them. There was supposed to be a new show called Bright 2 that was coming out. They won't be doing that with him. But on the other hand, he also has several other deals that are coming through. So I don't think he hurt. I don't think he got lost. Not severe. So that's what ended up happening. In this particular instance, I think it was a touch different. As a criminal defense attorney brain is going on, pretty much everything Chris Rock said was words. He wasn't even in close proximity to Will Smith, and none of those words were mild threats or came with a projectile. Right. In this particular instance, Mike Tyson was in a closed-in space. He was right next to this person, like literally, he was actually behind him, which in my opinion could make a person more scary because you can't see them as well.
Yes. And I don't know you. You're a stranger to me. Exactly. I at least know Chris Rock and Will Smith. They don't know each other, but
exactly.
Yes.
And they were on a flight together. I mean, he's heckling him for quite some time, and then a projectile comes at me, and he said, Mike Tyson said, "I'm gonna put these paws on you,"
and then it's another point is it's just so easy to get in trouble. This kind of stuff. You run someone when I'm about off the road because they're following you too closely, or they flipped you the bird and stuff like that. It's easy to get in situations. So, just like the DUI, there for the grace of God, go any of us in a situation that, wow, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Exactly. So, as per usual, we want to hear you guys' thoughts on both of these issues. Were you thinking that Mike should have just let him go? Or were you thinking that Mike's behavior was okay? He didn't do a knockout punch. Apparently, the guy did remain conscious, although, like I said, it looked like he may have pulled his arm back a little bit so he didn't give him all his weight. So he didn't do a knockout punch. The guy still remained conscious as far as the news articles and stuff were concerned. The guy was heckling him the whole time. Like I said, they were in a closely. See, this is how criminal defense attorney, we analyze things, guys.
Yeah.
But it was, I thought it was a pretty, in light of the Will Smith issue, I was like, this one has a slight escalation to it that I didn't think the other one had. So we are near our time. We are at, it comes too fast. Comes too fast.
Is it really? Oh, wow.
Yes, I know.
Wow.
I'm going to have to start doing something for you guys. It's coming too fast, even for me, guys. It's coming too fast. So I'm excited that you guys are here with us tonight. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them to our DM. Suggest to us what you want us to do. We've been getting some great suggestions. I talked to the judge about them today, so I'm uber excited to try to figure out how we're going to work some of those out. Don't forget to visit us on Facebook. And don't forget to visit us on YouTube. Once again, if you like us, please share.
And come back time and time again. We're here every Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Every Thursday night.
7:30 Eastern time.
Thank you. 7 o'clock Eastern time. And we're not your attorneys. We don't do legal advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Exactly. And we're a licensed member of the Florida Bar. And so we want you to come and join us. And learn a little bit of law and a lot of fun. Discuss current issues and tell us what you want us to talk about.
Exactly. So we look forward to seeing you guys every Thursday, and we look forward to seeing you next Thursday. We got a great attorney coming up in May, you guys. I'm just
excellent.
Saying. Yes. I'm just saying. May is my birth month, so you know I'm gonna bring it. Okay. So I am so excited for the list that we're gonna have. It's been great.
Thanks for spending this time with us. Thank you so much. Thank you.